بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وارحم محمد وآل محمد كما صليت وسلمت وباركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Thank you very much for being here again. As we previously said, today is going to be, we're going to move straight to the remaining part of the first chapter of this level, of the structured and systematic method and approach of the dawah and the biography of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yesterday we have laid the foundation. We hope it's solid and clear, the vision and what we should expect from this class. It's not conventional the way we start the seerah by mentioning the time he was born, where he was born. This is different. It's starting from the systematic structure, which means how Rasulullah sallam moved from one level to another. Therefore, if you want to know more about where he was born, when he was born, and the circumstances surrounding the time, then you should go to, check other references for that. We may mention some of those information from time to time, but that is not what this type of class is all about. So we mentioned that the major characteristic of this chapter, which is the secrecy of the da'wah, the da'wah being performed in a secret way, and the organization and the movement is also in a secret way. So both the da'wah and the planning, organization, and the movement also remain unannounced. So we're going to mention some few characteristics of this chapter and this stage. Number one is that ad-da'wa sirran, the da'wah remains secret, known only to the Prophet ﷺ and to the closest friends and family members who are trusted by the Prophet ﷺ. Not all family members, but those who are trusted, people you can trust with the da'wah, because it's very important to just let it be known to any family member, but those you can trust from family members. And we said the da'wah, the secret da'wah remained for how long?
3 years.
3 solid years. From the day Jibreel alayhi salam brought the message, from the day he was crowned, the Prophet was crowned as a prophet. And he was crowned with the prophets, with the title of prophet, which ayah? Iqra. Iqra is what crowned him as what? Prophet. And the ayah that made him messenger is Muddathir. Ya ayyuhal Muddathir. Ya ayyuhal Muzammil. These 2 surahs. But Ya ayyuhal Muddathir was very clear, because it said, Kum fa'anzir, stand up, get up and warn your people. So this means get out, move to the location and the localities and wherever people can be found, talk to them. So now it is mission. Before it is crown, they crown you as the king. Now behind that crown there's mission. You have to go out, you have to advocate, you have to. So he was made a prophet, bu'itha bi-iqra wa ursila bil-mudaththira. He was crowned as a prophet with Iqra, and the mission for him to go and spread Islam to all mankind began with Mudaththir, and it lasts for 3 years. The da'wah was covered, was not public, was only to specific people. And the second characteristic of this level, of this stage, is Qiyam al-da'wa ala al-istifa. The da'wah was made on selected people. This period, the da'wah was introduced to people who are selected by the Prophet ﷺ. So the first person to embrace Islam among men is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And the first woman to accept Islam is Khadija. And the first young man, Ali ibn Abi Talib. And the first servant who was Zayd bin Haritha. Zayd bin Haritha. He was owned by Prophet ﷺ's wife, and she donated him to the Prophet. So he became a servant, working with the Prophet, serving him, taking care of Prophet's need day in, day out. So these are the first people to embrace Islam, the first line, if you want, the first defense. The first defense, these are the names that you mentioned, and all of them forget about them. Then these four started to also go around, selecting people of their own choice. So we are still in that. The dawah is secret and by choice. And the choice is not just random, but careful and conscious choice. So the Prophet ﷺ chose these four, Khadija, Abu Bakr, Ali, and Zayd. And the four also started to spread it secretly by choice. And those who are selected by these four will also go to select by choice. But it's secret, but it's going on systematically in a very beautiful way, because the iman is so solid, because these four are known to be people of trust. And those that they are going to select are also people of trust. So it is trust upon trust upon trust that continue to build that the stage. So that is number two characteristic, that is the da'wah. The secret dawah continues by choice. Now, before we move on, what do we learn from this? From our daily life today, I mean, our life and our lives and experiences. Anyone can tell me something, what we can learn from this this step now? That's beautiful. So you don't broadcast it, you don't just make it, blow it up, try to keep it to yourself or to the people you trust. An example, I mean, what do we learn from this method, this system of beginning of everything should be kept low, should be kept known to only people you can trust. An example of today in our life is happening. I want someone to just dig into my mind and say it. And sister, brother, okay, well, I mean, the point I have in mind is about new Muslims. I mean, I think we are all converts here. I mean, we are all converts, is that correct? It's not something they should be ashamed of being a convert. The companions of Rasul, they are all converts. What about that? It's something to be proud of. I'm a convert. Don't never look down upon the convert, believe me, never. The years you spend in Islam does not weigh in. It is the iman. Inna akramakum indallah atqakum. This guy would just come to Islam for only a few months, and maybe his iman will have more weight than yours for many years. Believe me, it's very unfortunate that I meet brothers, someone will say, I've been Muslim for 45 years. And all the surah he can read is Al-Fatiha and Rabbin Nas, and these two surahs, that's it. He never move forward, never learn, he never cares. He's just, a Muslim. That is too much to be ordinary. I mean, you can't be that ordinary in Islam. You want Jannah, you want Hurul Ain, you want Firdaus al-A'la, always make big dua, Allahumma, I want the highest level. And you're not doing anything substantial. And in 40 years, you have to learn more. There are people today in America, in the West, who came to Islam less than 10 years, but they memorized Quran. Who embraced Islam more than 5 years, they went abroad to study. There they say, my wife, my family, no, this Fisabilillah, he will go wherever in Saudi, Egypt, Syria to study Arabic, Islam, very careful, curious, furious, he wants to learn. And we have spent so many years and we still don't know even the names of Prophet ﷺ's wives, the names of major companions. We can't even read the Quran. We don't even attend free classes. People spend money to go and spend money to study computer system and more new computer language just to upgrade their dunya. And we just keep the low profile on your akhirah. That speaks a lot about you than it speaks about what we speak about. It's really. So the new convert, if you are a new convert or if someone embraces Islam today, and let us have a very clear mind about our brothers and sisters who are new converts. We need to help them, we need to support them, we need to show them the love, we need to show them that we care for them. It's not enough when they embrace Islam with at-takbir, Allahu Akbar, at-takbir, Allahu Akbar, and after takbir, nothing else comes. No, after Allahu Akbar, we have to follow up. We have to implement the policy and the style of Rasulullah. Connect a new Muslim to a brother. Don't just leave him to all of us. He will get lost. The best way to do, and this is my call for all masjid and Islamic organizations and centers. And when someone embraces Islam, and I hope this will be practiced here, let's start with the lighthouse. Connect him to one brother. If it's a sister, connect him to a sister. Don't mix. If you connect a brother and sister, you invite him probably sometimes. Don't mix, don't cross the line. Sister to a sister. They can understand their language. Brother to brother, and then he follows up. He teach him, he brings him to the masjid. He doesn't do anything. They didn't teach him. He can only teach him, what he knows. But we have classes, we have lectures, we have conferences. So this is what we've been doing, Sister Halima and myself. And when someone embraces Islam, they need you more than anything because they lost their parents, friends, everything is new. And if we just make a takbir and then that's it, then we losing them. There is a statistics that over 40% of the new converts revert back to their old religion because there is no follow-up. We are all sinners in this. We are all accountable. And I don't know how Allah will forgive us. That's a tough fight. Connect the new brother or sister to a particular sister or brother. This is your companion. As Rasulullah did mu'akhat when he moved to Medina, they were connected. Muhajirin and Ansar, in order to solidify the ground and help them and support them. Then here we should form that Al-Muhajirin and Ansar kind of support system. So when a new Muslim brother or sister becomes to Shahada, what I want to benefit from this point is he or she should be conscious of who she informed, because don't just go home because some sisters or brothers are so energized and happy. They go home, Mom, I'm a Muslim, I became a Muslim. That may not work. So if the house is still hostile, if the family are not ready, she should embrace this type of system and keep Islam only to herself. When she wants to pray, she can lock her door and pray. She doesn't have to just come and then start wearing the hijab and niqab to them and, Mom, what is that? I'm a Muslim. No! It's going to be a big fight. Keep your Islam to yourself. Don't tell your mom or dad, as long as they are not ready to understand, they're not ready to listen to you, as long as they're not ready for it. Don't even tell your friends, because when you make it, when he broke out, No, are you crazy? These are terrorists, these are hatred, religion, they will call names and maybe she cannot survive. Friends at school, friends at home, parents everywhere. She can't stand and no Muslims around. So she has all of these people around her trying to take a veil around, try to stop her from making salat, and no Muslims around. So it's not the story. So the brother or sister can keep the Islam until she realized the mother or the father or the friends already. This is number one. Within a short time, if she realized that among the family members someone is ready to listen, or she can decide when my sister is very close and she has open mind to negotiate, then she can open up. Just as the Rasulullah, he didn't tell all the Meccans, he selected his wife and Abu Bakr and Ali and Zayd. So be like Prophet ﷺ. Just select some few people if they are ready. You're not ready, you can stay as long as you want until the atmosphere is ready for them to know, before you can tell one of them. And if the person accepts the Shahada, then together you are strong, you can move on to tell other people, and she can also select her best friend. And that is, but some people are so much, enthusiastic, and they should just go and broadcast the news, and the fight begins. Some survive and many do not survive. So this is something we should learn from this, and I want the masjids and communities to adopt this. And also, one thing I'm very concerned about the new Muslims is a very emotional topic to me because of my work as in the masjid and the communities, meeting new Muslims, talking to them, feeling for them. It's a very serious issue. We should, as masjid, as community, try to let them see that we have more than just Lighthouse Masjid. We have more than just King Fahd Mosque. There are Muslims elsewhere. There are Muslims, Muslims are in a huge numbers, but not just by talking the talk, by walking the walk. Take them to ISNA convention. Take them to the convention that was staged here in Los Angeles or in California, in the Long Beach, and let them go and see this pool of people. Men and women, young and youth and babies. These are all Muslims? Yes. This is just a fraction of Muslims. So they feel that, well, we strong, we are big in numbers. So these are something that we should be doing. We are now doing that. We're taking some sisters to new Muslims from Bakersfield to ISNA convention. And we are able to put some money together. We're taking around 8. And I hope that all communities will be doing that. Don't just leave them alone. It's expensive. The masjid can buy the ticket for them. Take them, let them see how many Muslims are there and what we can do together. So this is what I just want to mention here. And that's what I want to always relate whatever we read to the communities and the situations concerned that's taking place here. The third characteristic of this level, which is Islam starting in secrecy, al-amal min khilal thaqafat al-da'iyah. The choice of whom you're going to talk to should be based on the culture and the knowledge and the social status of the person. In order to make a choice, in order to invite someone to Islam, or to your plan, something that you want to achieve success, then the selection should be based on thaqafa, the culture. And then akhlaq, morals. And number 3 is al-alaqat al-ijtima'iyya, that is social status. So the Prophet ﷺ chose Abu Bakr. And as you all know, Abu Bakr is from the Quraysh. And so he is a good choice because he knew how to talk to people. He knew who to talk to among the Quraysh and how to approach them. Number 2, Abu Bakr is a merchant. He is a successful businessman. So he has connection with people coming, buying, selling, talking, asking, borrowing money. So he is well connected to people. And he can talk to them. Some people, because of the goodness, the kindness of him, they can listen to him. And then his social status, that he is connected to so many tribes, and he is invited to different social occasions. So Abu Bakr is connected, and his networking is very important. So you have to watch for someone who is morally great, someone who has great culture, well-cultured education or understanding of the situation around, and someone whose social network is vast and extended. This you can find in Zayd ibn Haritha. He can talk to his own folks and those who are slaves or who are owned, those who are servants. Ali can talk to the youth of his kind of nature. And Abu Bakr will talk to the people who come to him, those people who feel Abu Bakr has been so kind to him. He's so nice to them. And then the Quraysh, he knew. So these are, let's imagine, this is huge. Abu Bakr is more than 25,000 or 25 million if you want, one person. That's how big Abu Bakr is. So he can talk to all these people, but also by selection. So at least when you choose someone like Abu Bakr, you know that you're making a real inroads in the tribes and the people that you are expecting. So that's very important. That is the characteristic of this level, of this stage of the choice should be we spread about making good choice, and that now is what those you select should be Munir Muhammad Al-Ghadban, the author, beautifully said, he said, لِلْقُلُوبِ أَقْفَالِ. He said, hearts have their lock on it. And you need to have someone who can unlock their hearts. Someone to be able to unlock, not by just being known, but someone who has the tool, who has the key. And the key is what? Good morals, good knowledge, and then social status. So these are the keys to be able to talk to people, they listen to you, and you can be able to penetrate deep inside their mind. And when you speak to them, they listen. So it's very important. Otherwise, the reason why this is important, if you calculate this, if you didn't take care of this step, it will assassinate your plan in its infancy. The plan will not go far. The plan will not stand for a long time. So this is very important. And fourth characteristic of this level is ad-da'wa amma. Ad-da'wa amma, to reach to different categories of the social, the people in the society. To be able to reach to different categories, to different tribes, to different cities. So it's still secret, but you have to expand it. So for instance, although the dawah continues to be secret, but then you expand the contacts. Your contacts should be not narrow. Don't narrow up your contact, but try to expand it. And Al-Ghadban gave a very clear example of the Prophet ﷺ at this level approached Banu Hashim, and approached Banu Umayyah, Banu Makhzum, Banu Tamim, or Taim, Banu Uday, Zahra, and Jumah, and Saham, and Asad, and Al-Harith bin Fihr, and Banu Amir bin Lu'ay, and Qaba'ila Mutafarriqa. So many different tribes. But from all these tribes, he made what? Conscious choice. So it is secret, but you have to expand. You have to broaden the sphere of your choices. Don't make it only one tribe and stay. It's not public yet, but still you have to broaden where you get. So for instance, if you want to establish an Islamic center, an idea that is one of its kind in California, you can talk to people. Don't just limit yourself to people in Oakland. Move a little bit further to Los Angeles. You can go to San Diego. You can, get people from all, not everybody, but selected people. Exactly this is what the Prophet ﷺ did. It's still secret, but he extended the platform so that he can be able to tap in people who can make difference. The fifth characteristic of this stage is Dawrul Mar'ah, the role of woman. The role of women. And I told you that one of most important things in this book is he mentioned women's role in every phase. Because that is something that we're missing today. That is what men are consciously, knowingly or unknowingly are missing to know. Women are more than what we think they are today. Women's role in da'wah, in everything, in our progress is more than what we take them for. They say that behind every successful man there is what? A woman? Kind like? I don't know where you stand, man. This is well, behind every successful man there is a woman. Well, listen to this. Behind every successful or kind man there is a kinder woman. Not the same. Behind every successful man there is a kinder, a nicer sister behind him. Because when he goes home, when he is making his plans, when he is preparing, when he is making his strategies, if the woman is not kinder, if she is not even closer to what he's thinking, he wouldn't do better decision, believe me. She supports you, she gave you more ideas, she expanded your mind, she reminds you things. She should be kinder in order to contribute more. So every stage of da'wah there is a woman. So we don't just discard women. And this petition that we have, and I want that to reach all our brothers and who are listening and who are here. It's not wrong to have in our modern masjid we do the petition, but that is not Islamically oriented. Islam did not say petition, cover or divide where women and men stand. That is, Islam didn't bring that. That was added up later on to give women more comfortability. It's not da'wah, it's not in Quran, it's not in Islam that we should do that. There's no hadith saying that persuasion women put them somewhere. Rasulullah is the one Allah chose for the da'wah. He preached, he taught, he delivered his message until he died. Women and men just like we are today. Men in the front line and youth, and then women in the back. They see each other, talk to each other in Islamic environments, in a nicer and respectful mood. But when we bring the Arab culture and someone doesn't even want to look at women as if she is something. I mean, he is something. I mean, you look at her with respect, your sister or your mother or your daughter. That's how you look at her. You don't gaze, you don't stretch your gaze and start to have shaitan play with your mind. If you want to marry, you will talk to Cinderella. But apart from that, it's not what we advocate here. But when we take culture into the system, when culture play, when the culture became even the front line before Islam, that is the problem. When a brother is going to a sister's area to invite his wife, no, haram, something like it's taboo to even go close to the woman area. I'm going to call my wife. No. I mean, wow, what is wrong? What's going on? What's happening? Muslims need to revisit the history, the tariq, and understand there is difference between bad guys coming to masjid and doing things. We can eliminate them. We are men too. We know who is messing around. We can just ask him, show him the exit. But when we come to masjid, I mean, if anyone here wants to mess around, he would go to nightclub. He would go to other places, not to come to masjid where Allah is mentioned, where Quran is mentioned. So Islam actually advocates for respect and a distance between men and women in terms of don't come close too much in a way that it will lead to But Islam did not partition, did not block, and all this, no. That is culture, mostly Arab culture. That was forced into Islam, was forced into the deen, and made it too much like it's Islam. And I'm saying again, understand me right, I'm not asking for ikhtilat, mixture. What we are seeing is not ikhtilat. Some people don't understand even Arabic word. Some people have not even enough training. The moment men and women are sitting like this, they say it's ikhtilat. So are you saying that the Prophet ﷺ didn't know the meaning of ikhtilat? When men and women are in the same place, is that ikhtilat? Do you know Islam more than the Prophet? Or you know your culture more than Islam, more than Rasul? So that's what people need to be put right, and they need to understand Islam in its best form, not with this fake form and this culturally motivated way. So the role of women, that's the fifth characteristic of this level. لَقَدْ كَانَ رُبُعُ هَذَا الْمُجْتَمَعِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ. 1/4 of women, of men of the community are women. وَمُدَمَ الشَّبَابِ الْمُتَزَوِّجِينَ. And the young brothers of that time, this level, they were married. And their women played greater role in helping Islam at this time. We're talking about the Islam when Islam was still baby, and it's been delivered on secret notes and by selection. Women played significant role in this chapter, in this phase. And not only that, وَحَافَظْنَا عَلَى السِّرِّ وَكِتْمَانِ. They were also part of keeping the secret much in the circle that the Prophet ﷺ advocated for. Yes. Do you want to ask something?
Yes. You mentioned yesterday, you mentioned a hadith about the naqs that women have in deen and aql. That's a hadith present in,
which one? Say it again.
You mentioned a hadith about the lack that women have in terms of deen and aql that's present in the tradition. That hadith. So how do we treat that in our tradition and think about that hadith?
Would you repeat again? I didn't understand what I said yesterday. I mentioned that this, which hadith?
There's a hadith I've heard mentioned.
I mentioned yesterday?
Yeah, I believe you mentioned it yesterday, and I can speak to you afterwards.
Okay, about what? I mean, it's fine.
Right. Something about being half in the deen or half in...
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do we understand that?
Okay, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. That's a very beautiful question by a wonderful brother here. He said, yesterday you mentioned that the hadith said, Nisa naqisat aql wa deen. This hadith is true. It's correct. It's authentic. That women, their deen is half and their thinking is half. And I said that is not what the Prophet ﷺ, I mean, we should not understand it from the literary sense of it. It doesn't mean that women don't think. It doesn't mean that they are not worshippers. No, there are famous women who history was kind to. They were better than men in worship, in thinking, and everything. If you look at Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, when the Prophet ﷺ was going to Mecca to make the Umrah, and he was denied by the Quraysh, it was a woman who saved the situation. When the Prophet ﷺ asked them to slaughter their animals and go back, their companions were, you know what, we ain't going nowhere, we're going to move forward and fight the kuffar. And Prophet was really, kind of trying his way. And the woman, his wife, came and said, Rasulullah, don't just speak to them, just slaughter your animal, your sacrifice, and they will do it. A woman, she saved the whole situation. And I said, oh wow, thank you. He went and slaughtered his sacrifice, and the whole community, because they have to follow his instruction. They did exactly what he did. So, and we have women, Rabi al-Adawiyya, she was one of the greatest women in the history. We have Aisha, was teacher of men. So this doesn't mean women are not, fool in their mind, but what I say, women is talking about their reality. This is the reality of women that when they are monthly visited, they stop praying. Is that correct? So that is half, time. That's what naqisat. That their salat sometimes come to short when they are having their monthly visitor. And that during that time, psychologically, physiologically, they have a lot of things changing. And this is scientifically proven. They don't, things, they get quick to be annoyed, quick to accept things, quick to give order, So they have many things going on changes. So that is what the hadith is about, talking about the reality about women, which means men get to know this. When they are in this situation, you will have to be able to manage that situation fine. So that doesn't mean that they are anything inferior, or they should not be made. So that has something to do with what I'm saying today. What I'm saying today is that the issue of putting the barrier, the issue of making women far away, the issue of when women are doing something, we just consider them to stay away. No, that is not un-Islamic. I mean, Islam has given women a lot of rights and a lot of also boundaries. It's not just mixing together, dancing together, mixing in a way that is not Islamic. There is a boundary. But we have in the contemporary Muslim movement, we have brought in a lot of culture that is contrary to the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وإذا سألتموهن متاعا فسألوهن متاعا. Yeah, so that was. I want to know what is the meaning of that. That's the wife Rasulullah sallallahu. Allah said, "Ya nisa an-nabi, lastunna ka ahad min an-nisa." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave privilege to the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu, because before the hijab, women, the Prophet's wife are being seen by any person. You can just come and talk to her, see her, and all these things. So Abu Bakr was saying that, and Umar was saying, Prophet, I wish that your wife had not been seen easily like that. But Rasulullah has no command, and the deen is not his. He waited for Allah to send Jibril, and protected the Rasulullah wife. He don't come in and see them and talk to them without, so the ayah said, if you don't talk to them behind hijab. That is when you come to their home to talk to them. But the Rasulullah who received this ayah, who understood the ayah more than anyone, still pray in the masjid with women praying behind. Okay? Praying behind without any. So those who have partitioned the masjid, they may, I'm not saying it's haram, but I'm saying that some people making that as if that's the whole deen. We have to partition, no go back and pushing women and trying to as if when they come to the masjid like we're seeing today, it is un-Islamic. This is the natural way. But if we have, because we want them to have a comfortability, we want them to be more safe, we want them to be, themselves, we can have that petition. It happened later in the history of Islam. It never happened during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay. Moving forward. As-salat. The sixth characteristic of this stage is salat. Sheikh Munir al-Ghadban said, لم تخلو مرحلة من مراحل دعوة المسلمين من الصلاة على الأرجح. There was no any stage, any level, any phase of Islam that was free, that was salat free. That salat was not part of it. There is no any stage of Islam that salat was not part of it. There was no stage or phase of Islam that did not comprise what? Salat. It may be different before the original salat was given with its all rules and the arkan, the pillars of salat, wudu and everything. But before then, even the Prophet ﷺ used to make salat. He used to make salat to Allah. Salat, what is salat? Salat means ad-du'a. Musa alayhi salam makes salat. Ibrahim makes salat. Isa makes salat. Haroun makes salat. But their salat are all different. And if you read the Quran, if you go to Maryam, there is sujood, there is ruku in the salat. But it may not be the same as we do today. If you go to the Bible, a lot of mention of sujood. Prostrate, to put your head down, is in the Bible. is salat. Isa alayhi salam made a lot of salat. So before the salat took the shape that we know today, even the salat was part of the Muslims' lives. So here he said, قال Ibn Ishaq, or he said على الأرجح, because there are some who said salat was not performed until later stage. Here he said he was careful, it's على الأرجح, which means this is more authentic or more accepting than the other view, which said salat was only prescribed later on. So maybe those who said salat was prescribed later on, they mean the fullest form of salat that we know today. But salat in another kind, in another form, maybe salat standing and making sujood or ruku, has been part of the marahil al-da'wah, all levels of Islam. So he said, قال ابن إسحاق وحدثني بعض أهل العلم أن الصلاة حين افترضت على رسول الله أتاه جبريل وهو بأعلى مكة فهمد له بأقبى من ناحية الوادي فانفجرت منه عين فتوضأ بجبريل ورسول الله ينظر إلى يريه كيف الطهور إلى آخر ما هنالك فجاء رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خديجة فتوضأ لها ليريها كيف الطهور للصلاة كما أراه جبريل فتوضأت كما توضأ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ثم صلى بها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بصلاة جبريل. And so Jibril alayhi salam, after the Prophet, the first encounter, he came and was teaching Rasulullah sallam how to make wudu, how to teach. But the salat took form when? In the Rihlat al-Isra wal Mi'raj. In that night journey, which took Rasulullah from Masjid al-Haram, Masjid al-Aqsa, and then from Masjid al-Aqsa to as-Samawat, the heavens, it was in that journey that the Prophet ﷺ came back with the fullest extent and description of salat that continue to exist today. So وخرج بعض أهل العلم وذكر بعض أهل العلم أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان إذا هدر الصلاة خرج إلى شعاب مكة وخرج معه علي بن أبي طالب مستخفيا من أبيه أبي طالب ومن جميع أعمامه وسائر قومه فيصليان الصلوات فيها فإذا أمسيا رجع فمكث كذلك ما شاء الله أم يمكثا. So the Prophet ﷺ and Ali bin Abi Talib used to go out in an area where no one can see them and pray. That is at the secret when the hour is still in its infancy, in its formative years, and after that they will come back. They try to even hide their salat from the people. As-Simat al-Sabi'ah. So this also we can understand this from what I spoke about the new convert. You know, when I said you can lock yourself, someone can say, why? We have, some people are so maybe enthusiastic, but it's not enough. Islam, we don't want people who are just want to break, and no, it's not about how you want to do it, but the best way. Because someone can say, Sheikh, he said the woman, to lock herself, don't let her be coward or to be weak. So even Rasulullah, this thing is weak, it's not weak, but it's gradual. This is the best way in order to enforce Islam in yourself, to understand it well, before you can take the Islam to the next level. So some people say, no, like, we have to let them know whether they like it or not and start fighting. No, you can do that. These are all part of what we can use today in our localities, in our communities, in our masjids, with our families, with our wives. For instance, if we are married to a non-Muslim wife and she did not take Islam, then it is your fight, it's your jihad to show Islam through your character, through your behavior, through your love, through your support, through your way of dealing with her. If she became a Muslim, now you have to let her move in to Islam, walk her to Islam. You have to walk her to Islam systematically, gradually, and don't force everything on her. Another point that we also be very careful when we have new converts. Sometimes the sisters, we just want to put them to niqab, not even hijab. Some sisters I've seen in my experience, the moment the sister took shahada, the next time, the next moment, the next few minutes, they wanted to start covering niqab. And niqab is a matter of debate. Hijab, even hijab, let her understand the deen first. Tell her what are important in the deen. Hijab for a sister is one. And let her take her time to understand the shahada, the salat, and embrace Islam well before you come forth on all of these things. Don't even force it. The reason why some sisters don't believe in the hijab, maybe the way it was approached, the way we introduced hijab to them. I have known a sister from Saudi Arabia, not from Oakland, from Saudi Arabia. She said when she gets into the plane, she grabbed the hijab and throw it into the dustbin. A Muslimah, an Arab lady talking to me. Why? Because she doesn't believe in it. Because she was not allowed to accept the jihad by her own choice. She was not trained to understand why should I put on the hijab. So let her know. Talk to your daughter. That's the beauty. That's Allah's command. Well, so if I didn't wear the hijab, should I leave Islam? No. Nothing comes close to La ilaha illallah. Let us be clear. Some people we don't prioritize things. And we think hijab is everything right away. No. Nothing else comes next or even equal to La ilaha illallah. So if the sister didn't want to wear it and she accepts Allah, mashallah, we should be very happy for that and try to train her, try to teach her, try to show her the way and let her get convinced, okay? Let her understand why hijab or why niqab. Then the person will be free to wear it even where you don't even accompany her. But if you don't force her, you don't teach her, then she's going to throw it like the sister said she does in the plane. So these are things we actually need to include in our community lives. The seventh characteristic is that ma'rifatu Quraysh bi khabar al-da'wah. If you are forming if you are in a formative time or years of period of an idea, movement, some people may get informed. The news could leak to some people that you didn't tell or you don't want them to know, and that should not scare you away. That's what happened to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In that phase, in that moment, there are a couple of Quraysh, like Zayd bin Amr bin Nufail and Waraq bin Nawfal and Umayyah bin Abi Salt. These are people who heard about Islam and they knew about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam becoming a prophet. And some people in Mecca as well, Abi Talib, they knew, but they are not harassing Muslims. They are not harassing Muslims because they did not feel threatened. So if you are in the movement, your da'wah, in whatever plan you have, and the news start to spread a little bit, some people who are not taking it aggressively, that is still fine. And the reason why the Meccans, those who knew about the movement of the Prophet ﷺ's da'wah and did not make any noise, because they consider Muslims then not threatening, because they are not saying anything about the idols. Because this is the level where Islam is practiced in secret. And they consider Muslims to be better than the Hanafiyin. And the Hanafiyin are those people who were following the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Because they were loud, they were vocal about the idols. They were condemning the idols. But the Muslims, although they heard about but Muslims are just moving alone and doing the salah. They are not talking about the idols. So they feel some comfortability. Like, I guess you can do what you want. As long as we are safe, as long as our idols are not being condemned. So whenever this happens, you can move on with confidence without having problem in that. And also, you know that the Prophet ﷺ used to go to God Hira when he was seeking for guidance, and they knew. They all have information about his journeys to the God Hira, and they never made him in trouble. Well, I'm going to read this loud. Why does everyone talk about women's rights in Islam? Men do not have rights? Okay. The second one, I'm not going to read that. It's not my mission here. We can talk about Alex, can you say the name of the stage 7 again? Again? The one you just explained? Yeah. What was the stage 7? Stage 7 is should your movement or should your plan leak out to some people, as long as they didn't consider you threatening, as long as they didn't harass you, it's fine. I mean, you don't have to pack your bag and run away because some few people knew. So we are mentioning some example here that the Prophet ﷺ, during that phase, there are some people who knew about the movement, about his mission, but they didn't consider him to be threatened. So we continue to do the da'wah. I mean, some people may be aware of what you're doing, as long as they didn't take the fight to you, as long as they didn't make a case of, don't make it trouble. Continue to do your mission, and so this tells you, showing you the way to handle situations. The 8th characteristic, we are coming to close. The 8th characteristic is al-mu'ayasha bayn al-muslimin wa ghayrihim. Living amid non-Muslims, living within and around non-Muslims. I mean, at this level where Islam is just an infant, Islam in its formative years, we have never heard, there is no any report that Islam has clashed with the Quraysh at this level. Because the idea, as we said, was transmitted only to a few people who are trusted, and they also transmitted to people they trust. And Islam was not then public. So, although the idea of Islam being the new religion may be known by some people who are not Muslim, but it wasn't a problem. So, what I'm saying at this level is the characteristic number 8 means you can still live the same situation with the people you live in, the same environment, the same community, because you are planning. This is the stage where you are still planning and moving forward. Unless something happens that will force you or propel you to make a move. Otherwise, you still move with the people, because that is when people have to know who you are. I mean, when you have a plan, when you have a da'wah, when you have an idea, and you are being rude to people, it will not work. So when you live into people, you are spreading Islam. And this is how Islam got spread in Africa. There's no sword in Africa. Islam, the Muslims came from the east, and North Africa came all the way to the west, and they were just merchants, businessmen, and they were selling Islam with their goods. When they sell, they are so kind, they are so easygoing. They can ask you to go if you don't have money to pay. If you owe them, you couldn't pay, they let you go. If you have a problem, they come and help you. I mean, man, you are just different people. Why are you doing that? It's my religion. What's the religion? Islam. Man, I want to be one. So they are selling Islam with their goods, selling Islam with their character. So you need to show that kindness and that love. So stay with the people. There are people, when they start to make any movement, then they just run away. They just want to go out in the... No, stay with the people. That is the characteristic number 8. Stay with the people. Show them the love. Show them that kindness. Show them that you care for them. So when you become public, you will still have many who would jump and support you. in Abu Bakr, let's go back a little bit to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Because of his selectiveness and being very careful, he was able to bring 6 people into Islam who were all among the Al-Ashar al-Bashirin bil-Jannah, among the 10 who were given glad tidings of Jannah. Abu Bakr alone brought 6. And among companions, great companions who accept Islam through Abu Bakr's effort is Uthman al-Khalifa al-Rabi, the 4th Khalifa. It was Abu Bakr's effort. Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas, Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah. So Abu Bakr were able to not bring just ordinary people, but he brought some heavyweights. He brought heavyweight companions to Islam. I mean, who championed Islam. So it was through what they knew about him, his character and mannerism. The characteristic number 9, التركيز على بناء العقيدة. يعني the main focus should be the building of aqidah. There's this level. So when you're doing something, when you are forming any organization or any movement, that first phase you should focus on the core of your plan. Try to solidify that in the mind and heart of people that you invite in. Let them embrace it wholeheartedly. Let them understand it thoroughly. Let them feel that they are part of it. Don't let them feel that they are outsiders. And have them believe and trust and understand what you are calling them to. Now.
So Aqidah are the beliefs of what we all collectively believe. The meaning of Aqidah.
Aqidah is creed. Aqidah al-Islamiyya is Islamic creed. And that Islamic creed is La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And translating this into action. So understanding these 2 shahadas and then putting it in action is aqidah. Well, aqidah sahiha means to the tawheed. That's tawheed. Because this is the number 1, number 2, and number 3 thing in Islam. Aqidah sahiha. And this is where many Muslims today, unfortunately, have derailed. You know, like derailing. There are Muslims making salat, but unfortunately, many have taken a wrong exit of the freeway. Wrong exit. Because Aqidah today is and should be our fight. But if I say a fight, I mean our effort, not real fight. Some people are always ready to fight, man. I'm talking about trying to convince them, we can sit on the same table. We can smile, we can visit each other. I mean, Islam is not about fighting. Allah is not weak for us to fight for Him. It's not weak, God, for you to fight for Him. Leave the people who don't want Allah, leave them. Just talk to them. Just spread the word. Just use the word mouth. The mouth word. And talk to them. That's it. You don't have to fight. Aqidah should be the belief. Aqidah should be acceptance in your heart. Aqidah should be your conscience in your mind. And Aqidah should be emotion. So all of these together, you have to have Aqidah marinated in all your life. In your mind, in your thoughts, in your mouth. The man is La ilaha illallah. So you say it loud, and then it should spread all over your body. Your heart should embrace it, and then it should be all over you in your emotion, in your life. This is Aqidah. And Aqidah, the main thing of Aqidah is Shahadatain. And the most important, that is At-Tawheed. And if this is missing, everything is missing. And today we have a problem with Muslims staying on Aqidah. There are many today who deviated from the Aqidah and Muslims, but have invited many innovations in Islam. They are Muslims, but they have added so many things that Islam does not accept. They are Muslims, but they have added so many things. So we have so many firaq, sects in Islam, doing things their own way. It's either you come to their way or you take the freeway. So we have to stick with the Aqidah. We have to understand the Aqidah. We have to always read about the Aqidah. We have to always renew our Aqidah. Renew it by reading, by making sure that you don't derail. You are on course. Stay the course. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing in conformity with Islam? Is it exactly what the Prophet ﷺ preached? If your answer is yes, Jazakallah khair. How do you know that? Quran and Sunnah. If what you are doing does not conform with Quran and Sunnah, and you continue to do it, you know you're in serious problem. When you are when you are invited for any occasion or party, you don't want to see any stain, anything, any drop of any ink or something on your shirt. You want to go clean. You want to be well dressed. Because that ink on your shirt doesn't mean anything but because you just want to go better. You want to go neat. And this is what should be taken into consideration when we're talking about Aqidah. You don't want to meet Allah with a lot of stain in your Aqidah, in your Iman. Your Iman is not complete. Your Iman is halfway. Your Iman is not, and this is not the best way. You have to take the Iman and Aqidah from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whatever you do, make sure that it has connection to the Prophet or the Quran al-Karim. Otherwise, you will go and meet Allah Ta'ala and you cannot account for many things. Oh, I was told by my Sheikh, I was told by my... Okay, so Aqidah, it is everybody's property. It is your property. Don't always wait for a second thought for someone to give you his own opinion. As a student, you have right to learn, you have right to ask, you have right to read, and after that, make sure that whatever you do, that's the easy way. Because as we all know, you may say, well, my Sheikh knows better than I, and that's fine, but try to read. Make sure that whatever you do has a proof in the Quran or Sunnah. With that, you're safe. Otherwise, you may be doing many things. Innovations are everywhere today. And you don't want to go and meet Allah Ta'ala with a lot of issues that are not endorsed by Islam. So at this level, the Prophet ﷺ emphasized on what? Bina al-Aqidah. Inculcating Aqidah in the minds, in the souls of Muslims. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Stick to that. And do not force yourself in doing what the Prophet ﷺ did not bring to us. And make sure that you conform the Quran. And you know what I'm talking about. There are many innovations and many of things that we're doing that is not Islamic or is not in conformity with the Aqidah. If you go today to Africa, if you go to many even Arab countries, you see Muslims, but the Aqidah is faulty. Aqidah has a lot of problems. People can easily go to magicians. People have this in the front of their doors. They have all this juju. Juju means someone can be. Is going to protect someone, or is going to attack someone, or write a name of all berries and animal lives in order to have something. And this all un-Islamic. It's completely, splitting Islam and your Tawheed away. When you have business, it's Allah. When the business is not going through, it's Allah. Find the fault. When you have any problem, go and ask Allah. Don't just go and get something, put in your body or hang. Even the Prophet saw a young man hanging something on his neck. And he asked him to remove it. He said, if you meet Allah with this on your neck, you will not be saved. Something in your neck, angels, or some jinn's name or something, this is all against the Tawheed. Some say, well, but if it's Allahu Akbar, ulama, Ibn Taymiyyah said, if it's by Allah's name, it's lesser. Why he says lesser? Because you may go to bathroom and all this. Why do you have to take Allah in your name? Allah is not supposed to be hanged. Allah is supposed to be understood, to be followed, and to be loved. Not to have it in your neck and then you're doing all these things. It's not about outside, it's about inside. At-taqwa hahuna. The faith here is supposed to be inside your heart. So hanging something, talisman, going to soothsayers, going to something. You can go to an imam, you can come to me and say, Sheikh Ayub, please include me in your dua. Simple, I can do that. Please, I need to get this job or something, add me into your dua. We can do that. You know, these are things you can do. Islam is very clear, but you know, and the reason I'm talking about this, a lot of people today, their aqidah is in jeopardy. Aqidah today is questioned. Yeah, aqidah is questioned. And until your aqidah is clear, you are in trouble. And you can go to Allah and be saved and be gain the salvation when your aqidah is shaky, when the aqidah is filled with all filthiness and all these dirts. You cannot have a good day meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Prophet at this stage spent a lot of time, these 3 years, planting aqidah, foundation of aqidah, clear aqidah. And the reason this is important, after the dawah became public, these folks, the companions with their strong and solid aqidah, they have no fear of anything, and they are able to talk to people the way Islam wants, and they didn't feel threatened, because they know if they are killed, they're going to Allah. They know if they succeed, it's Allah. I mean, there's no fear because the aqidah is solid. So we have to always talk about tawheed. Always remind brothers about tawheed. What are the parameters of tawheed? When would someone be out of tawheed? Huh? What is a speech that will even invalidate your tawheed? Even speech, you can say something that will corrupt your tawheed. So tawheed could be invalidated by your speech, sometimes by your action, sometimes by your belief, differently. So you need to know the parameter. What is the boundary of tawheed? What should I not do as a Muslim? This is very important. And the last but not least of the characteristics of this level, of this phase, is al-jahr bid-da'wah ba'da bina'i nawat as-sulba. Islam taking a different turn and becoming public after the solid foundation has been put in place. And ولذلك لو أنه لم يرتد أحد عن دينه. Dr. Munir Muhammad said, no one has been reported, from these companions also who lived this era, no one was ever reported to have deserted Islam, have reverted from Islam. No. Why? Because they are all mountains of Iman. Each one of them is like Kilimanjaro. So strong and solid and unshakable, it's ready. So when Islam became public, these guys are all generals. Generals of Islam in their behavior. Generals in their morality. Generals in their understanding. General in everything. So no one can shake them. No one can move them away. No one can even confuse them. They are all well trained, ready to go. So that is when the da'wah takes the next turn. That is, da'wah becomes public, but then their organization continue to be what? Sacred. And that is the next level, which is the next chapter we're talking about next week. The whole of next week, we're going to focus on Saturday and Sunday, talk about da'wah becomes public, but the organization and the movement continue to be what? Sacred. أقول قولي هذا وأسأل الله لي ولكم توفيق النجاح. If you have questions, inshallah, I want you to, not necessarily question, you can also add some of understanding that we can benefit from it. We still have some few minutes before I leave. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. So yes, the organization and the movement is also in a secret way. So both the da'wah and the planning, organization, and the movement also remain unannounced. So we're going to mention some few characteristics of this chapter in this stage. Number one is that ad-da'wah sirran, the da'wah remains secret, known only to the Prophet ﷺ and to the closest friends and family members who are trusted by the Prophet ﷺ. not all family members, but those who are trusted, people you can trust with the da'wah, because it's very important to just let it be known to any family member, but those you can trust from family members. And we said the da'wah, the secret da'wah remained for how long?
3 years.
3 solid years. From the day Jibreel alayhi salam brought the message, from the day he was crowned, the Prophet was crowned as a prophet. And he was crowned with the prophets, with the title of prophet, which ayah? Iqra. Iqra is what crowned him as what? Prophet. And the ayah that made him messenger is Muddathir, Ya Ayyuhal Muddathir, Ya Ayyuhal Muzammil. These 2 surahs. But Ya Ayyuhal Muddathir was very clear, because it said, Kum fa'anzir. Stand up, get up and warn your people. So this means get out, move to the location and the localities and wherever people can be found, talk to them. So now it is mission. Before it is crown, you know, so they crown you as the king. Now behind that crown there's mission. You have to go out, you have to advocate, you have to. So he was made. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وارحم محمد وآل محمد كما صليت وسلمت وباركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Thank you very much for being here again. As we previously said, today is going to be, we're going to move straight to the remaining part of the first chapter of this level, of the structured and systematic method and approach of the dawah and the biography of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yesterday we have laid the foundation. We hope it's solid and clear, the vision and what we should expect from this class. It's not conventional, the way we start the seerah by mentioning the time he was born, where he was born. This is different. It's starting from the systematic structure, which means how Rasulullah moved from one level to another. Therefore, if you want to know more about where he was born, when he was born, and the circumstances surrounding the time, then you should go to, check other references for that. We may mention some of those information from time to time, but that is not what this type of class is all about. So we mentioned that the major characteristic of this chapter, which is the secrecy of the da'wah, and the da'wah being performed in a secret way, and the Prophet bu'itha bi'iqra wa ursila bil mudaththir. He was crowned as a prophet with iqra, and the mission for him to go and spread Islam to all mankind began with mudaththir, and it lasts for 3 years. The da'wah was covered, was not public, was only to specific people. And the second characteristic of this level, of this stage, is qiyam ad-da'wa ala al-istifa. The da'wah was made on selected people. This period, the da'wah was introduced to people who are selected by the Prophet ﷺ. So the first person to embrace Islam among men is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and the first woman to accept Islam is Khadija, and the first young man Ali ibn Abi Talib, and the first servant who was Zayd bin Haritha. He was owned by Prophet ﷺ's wife, and she donated him to the Prophet. So he became a servant, working with the Prophet, serving him, taking care of Prophet's need, day in, day out. So these are the first people to embrace Islam, the first line, if you want, the first defense. The first defense, these are the names that you mentioned, and all of them forget about them. Then these four started to also go around, selecting people of their own choice. So we are still in that. The dawah is secret and by choice. And the choice is not just random, but careful and conscious choice. So the Prophet ﷺ chose these four, Khadija, Abu Bakr, Ali, and not something they should be ashamed of being a convert. The companions of Rasul, they are all converts. What was that? It's something to be proud of. I'm a convert. Never look down upon the convert, believe me, never. The years he spent in Islam does not weigh in. It is the iman. Inna akramakum indallah atqakum. This guy would just come to Islam for only a few months, and maybe his iman will have more weight than yours for many years. Believe me, it's very unfortunate that I meet brothers, someone will say, I've been Muslim for 45 years. And all the surah he can read is Al-Fatiha and Rabbin Nas, and these two surahs, that's it. He never move forward, he never learn, he never care. He's just, Muslim. That is too much to be ordinary. I mean, you can't be that ordinary in Islam. You want Jannah, you want Hurul Ain, you want Firdaus al-A'la, always make big dua, Allahumma, I want the highest level. And you're not doing anything substantial. And 40 years, you have to learn more. There are people today in America, in the West, who came to Islam less than 10 years, but they memorized Quran. Who embraced Islam more than 5 years, they went abroad to study. There they say, my wife, my family, no, this fisabilillah, he will go wherever in Saudi, Egypt, Syria to study Arabic, Islam, very careful, curious, furious, he wants to learn. And we have spent so many years and we still don't know even the names of Prophet ﷺ's wives, the names of major companions. We can't even read the Quran. We don't even attend free classes. People spend money to go and spend money to study computer system and more new computer language just to upgrade their dunya. And we just keep the low profile on your akhirah. That speaks a lot about you than it speaks about, what you speak about. It's really. So the new Zaid and the four also started to spread it secretly by choice. And those who are selected by these four will also go to select by choice. But it's secret, but it's going on systematically in a very beautiful way because the iman is so solid because these four are known to be people of trust. And those that they are going to select are also people of trust. So it is trust upon trust upon trust that continue to build that the stage. So that is number 2 characteristic. That is the dawah, the secret dawah continues by choice. Now, before we move on, what do we learn from this? From our daily life today, our life and our lives and experiences. Anyone can tell me something, what we can learn from this this step now?
When you got a big decision or you're trying to do something that might be big and life-changing that you shouldn't just broadcast to everybody, you should try to keep it low. Just the people you can really trust, so people don't hate on you.
That's beautiful. So you don't broadcast it, you don't just make it, blow it up, try to keep it to yourself or to the people you trust. An example, what do we learn from this method, this system of beginning of everything should be kept low, should be kept known to only people you can trust. An example of today in our life is happening. I want someone to just dig into my mind and say it. And sister, brother, okay, well, I mean, the point I have in mind is about new Muslims. I mean, I think we are all converts here. We are all converts, is that correct? It's not